Oh, there's the counter. That must mean we're live on live on the radio or something.
Welcome to our Friday night chat.
Friday Night Live. Welcome, everybody. Thank you for spending some time with us. I narrowly made it. I narrowly made it because I just put up an interview with Jerry Lynn, who has been a big supporter of the channel. She's a really nice lady. And what we did is we interviewed her in April. And that's what happens sometimes with interviews. We interviewed her in April, and then Chase was really far behind in interviews because he edits my interviews. So he did it, and he gave it to me. And then we were switching hard drives, and then we looked for it, and we couldn't find it. So I went, oh, no. So today, knowing that I couldn't, I thought, well, I'm finally going to put it up today. And then I couldn't find it again, knowing I had the hard drive. So finally, we put up the entire interview on Rock History Book, our sister channel. That's the one on the Righteous Brothers you might have seen. She's an amazing lady. She worked with the Righteous Brothers for 16 years. She was Peter Tork's manager, and she did bookings with him. And you'll find out interesting things about the Monkees' Peter Tork as well. So there you go. So anyway, hi, happy Thanksgiving, long weekend.
Yes, welcome. David Smith, John Coltrane, I Love Supreme.
Oh, wow, yeah.
Darren, hi Darren. I didn't hear the Steely Dan song Black Friday played at any retail outlets today.
Oh, when Black Friday comes.
Fraser J, way.
Hey, Fraser J.
You guys made it. How's the eye, John?
It's good. It's backwards here. Yeah, it's just, no, actually, this is so it must be backwards if I'm touching. So it's right here. And the final stitch, by the way, came out.
Oh, it did. It's doing a lot better. It's just
Yeah.
going to take a little bit of time to kind of flatten out a bit.
It's strange. As you get older, not everyone's like this, but you start realizing when you flip the screen on yourself here, all of a sudden you look different. Because we're looking at sometimes, because then you realize, oh my God, my face is a little crooked. But everyone's face is a little crooked. The person, someone already gave us a super chat.
Toro
Poco.
Yes,
Thank
a happy belated birthday to Shannon. Thanks. It was a great day, by the way.
Wow.
And of course, John had a nice little celebration for me on air last week, so it was really sweet as well.
Yeah, someone took me showing the pictures, and his comment was flagged. He said, "Yeah, you hope you go to hell for embarrassing your beautiful wife." I'm going, I okayed all that,
and it was very sweet. Sometimes I just get a little bit shy, but found it very sweet.
But I found it really interesting that he would take it that way. But we live in a world now where reactions are never predictable. So, but he was just going nuts, and I went, a lot of times if I get a negative comment, I will take it. Listen, if it's something I should learn, because you never stop learning, I'll take it. But sometimes when they're like really insulting, and I've said this before, sometimes you're really funny. Like they're actually. Remember, I told you that you're a cross between Steve Buscemi, Patton Oswalt, and Robert Downey Jr. I thought that was funny.
It wasn't like a drunk Robert Downey Jr.
It might have been a drunk. Oh yeah, I got that one too.
Sue Bailey, hi Sue,
hi
John,
Sue.
Shannon, Laura LeBlanc, hey, yeah, that must be Pete. Hey, Pete.
Hey, Laura, hi Pete.
Alex Knight, hi Alex. Frampton Comes Alive, my first live record. Cool. Hugh Stark, these have changed my life. Pink Floyd, The Police, Tool, Tame Impala.
Yeah, Tame Impala.
Are probably the ones that come straight to my mind. That's one of Chase's favorites.
Chase loves, and Shannon too, and I just got into Tame Impala.
I think it's called Tomorrow's Dust. Is it Tomorrow's Dust?
It's one guy now. It used to be a band, but basically it's just one guy. And just such great music, because my son's always introducing us, not just me.
Yeah, to stuff. It's amazing.
That stuff that otherwise we would have passed on or not given a chance, and then we're in Chase's car. And, is he okay? He's good. He's going to have to wait.
Oh, yep. Rick May, greetings from Ohio. Hi, Rick. As
Rick.
Arnold said in The Terminator, I'll be whack. Hit that like button, folks. So funny.
Oh, I know. It's always an innovative way of saying it.
Hi, Deborah. Welcome. She says Pink Floyd, John
Yes.
Adams. Hi from CT, Connecticut.
Yeah.
Dakota Bostwich. The Who's music has changed my life and maybe a huge impact on me personally. And Hydrophenia is one of my all-time favorite.
Hydro? It's Quadro.
Oh, Quadro, sorry. Phenia, I don't have my glasses on. Is one of my all-time favorite albums, Magic.
Yeah. Elton John, Madman Across the Water. You guys knew I was going to say that. A lot of Billy Joel's music made a difference to me. I love Don Henley's solo stuff. I love the Eagles, Pink Floyd, Led Zeppelin's my. Is he waiting to?
Oh, he's fine. He already went.
Pink Floyd. I know you're going to say. I read an interesting thing today. I know you like Savage Garden because that's more Shannon's another generation for. But I read a thing on the leader of Savage Garden basically going, while he was at the, just as an aside, while he was at the height of his career, he was just falling apart mentally. He just couldn't do it. He was just still dealing with his angst. And I was surprised, but Darren Hayes, that's his name. Yeah.
Oh, Chuck. For me, it was Kiss Alive. I was 10 years old when it came out late in 1975, and hearing it for the first time, it totally blew me away and changed my life.
I love Kiss Alive. It was such a great album. I mean, the people say, well, it wasn't quite really recorded live, and I'm going, at this point, as a live album or whatever you want to call it, it's a great record. It still sounds good today. First Side to me is just, wow.
Dwayne Sablin, Nazareth's No Mean City album.
No Mean City, yeah. I had a lot of friends who liked Nazareth, and I ended up being a huge Nazareth fan. I started with their greatest hits, Hair of the Dog, went back to Razzmanazz, their third album. I thought it was their first album, but a lot of us...
He's just playing with his toys.
Okay.
No worries. Laura says, Peter is just getting home from Black Friday. Ugh, retail sometimes.
Oh, well.
So Laura's on with us.
Laura, we'll get back to you after. I think if you guys are available tomorrow night, we'd love to. We're making dates
Rick, Bob Dylan, Highway 61
Revisited, yeah.
was one of the first albums I bought. Definitely a game changer.
Always known. I mean, whenever you get top 100s, it's always there. When you get top 50s, it's always there. And a lot of the times when you get top 20s, it's always in there for, whatever list you have. I've got to fly away here.
Snowman. Hello, John and Shannon.
Hey, Snowman.
Hey. Bob Perry, Hotel California. Years later,
he really has to go.
I got him. Here.
Okay.
Sorry.
If he's clinging on the door... If he's on the door, that means he's serious. Okay. Fraser J, Earth, Wind, and Fire. I Am 79. David Foster's first big production, a classic. Daryl says, I can't think of one album that changed my life. There are a few of them. They might take up a whole chat box. That's okay. That's nice to have you on here, Darren. Oh, a super chat from Robert Schluter. Thank you, Robert. I appreciate that. The thing about doing live chats on YouTube is sometimes you'll go to the super chat first, but then you got to find your place after. But it's always nice to have a super chat. Thank you. And remember, you can always make a donation if you don't want to do super chats. If you ever want to make a donation to our channel, you can via PayPal. It's in the description right at the very top, or join our Patreon. The good thing about Patreon, it makes you work ahead of time. That's the greatest thing about it. Instead of just going, I think I'll release a video today. Oh, wait, I have to produce one. Patreon's great because it forces me to work ahead, which is a great thing. So if I get hit by a bus and Shannon gets a lot of insurance money, hardy har, then you don't have to worry about it. Okay, hold on. Crimson King, Dave Clark 5, King Crimson 21st. Good times, bad times. Zep. Dwayne says, greetings from Edmonton. Alberta, I enjoyed pierogies. What? Procol Harum live concert, Edmonton Symphony Orchestra. You've mentioned that one a few times. Yeah, Gibson, Les Paul, hearing Randy Rhoads playing on Tribute when I was young changed my life. Thank you. Bat Out of Hell, Melody R. Nice to have you on here. Meatloaf. Mark Zappasodi, Beatles. This is my 50th anniversary of listening, following, and collecting them. They are family and my oldest friends. Life is Beatles based for me. Wow. Dwayne, hello, and Hafa Adia from Pacific, Mariana Islands. Hello. Blaze Eisner, hey, Brother John, Sister Shannon. 2 album, Moody Blues, Days of Future Past. And Jeff Beck, Blow by Blow. I love Blow by Blow. I know that's the album that's cool to say that you love. Is he okay? Oh, but Blow by Blow is a great album. You know what? A lot of my friends had it when I was growing up. A lot of my friends had it when I was working in warehouses before radio. Yeah. Dwayne, others include Peter Frampton. Frampton Comes Alive, yes. Cheap Trick, Live with Budokan. Jeff Hansen. Chicago was the first concert I went to in 74. I was 14. You're the same age as me if you were 14 in 74. Crimson King, yes. Mark Zed. Ross says the Beatles' Revolver. That Revolver, Rubber Soul era, when they went from that band to the more psychedelic band, that's crazy. Cecilia, Nick Drake, incredible talent and such a sad story. I know, because he didn't have any fame while he was alive, and but there is a special coming up on him where all the people were saying, well, we knew he had it, and we weren't sure he knew he had it. And just because something doesn't sell at the time where it doesn't sell, doesn't mean it's not a great album. Dwayne says, all great choices. Darren says, oh, you guys are Tom Cochran, Red Rider, the Symphony Sessions. I remember that. Mark Stone, Rush, All the World's a Stage, 3 LP. I remember I had that. Was very hard to get in Australia in the late 70s. I had no idea. Snowman, Rush, Exit Stage Left. Bought that 7 times, first buying my first on cassette. We're right there, Mark Zappasotti.
I worked at Bosco's today, a U.S. department store held today. Oh, of course.
Oh, my God.
Black Friday deals. Russ says, Stevie Wonder, Journey Through the Secret Life of Plants.
You know what? I got that on sale. There's the guy. There's the culprit. He
just wanted to go outside and sniff around.
He didn't do anything?
No. Brian says, physical graffiti, so powerful.
Physical graffitis. I go from physical graffiti to Zeppelin 4, and a lot of people do, going back and forth. Look at this face.
Russ says, John Coltrane, A Love Supreme, which I mentioned before.
Yeah, of course.
Tony says, Genesis, The Lamb Lies Down on Broadway.
It's 1974, great album.
Dennis, Perrin, Beach Boys, Hot Rod album, She's Real Fine. My 409, I was hooked on rock ever since.
Oh, hey. Look at this guy. I don't know what he wants.
No idea.
You okay? He wants to be on YouTube, I think.
Blaze says, Brother John, I forgot about introducing the Beatles on VJ Records, my first vinyl at 10 years old.
Oh, my God.
Whew.
When I was leaving Montreal at age 7 in 67, of course, it was Sgt. Pepper's. What do you need?
Your brother says, Cheap Trick live at Budokan for me.
Hi, Charles.
Ed says, Nearly Human by Todd Rundgren.
Oh, my God. Late 80s. Nearly Human.
Heard a track from the album over the speakers in a record store in 1989, and now I'm a huge fan.
Juan of the Nail. I remember he was on, look it up, Todd Rundgren, Bobby Womack, together, David Letterman's show. I forget what Todd's, I don't know if she's still his wife. She was his wife then. She sang backup, a little blonde in the back. When they sang Juan of the Nails, oh, man. But Nearly Human doesn't have a bad song on it.
Gin Jazz, the Jimi Hendrix Experience.
Yeah, good choice.
Hike with Mike. Hey, Mike.
Hey,
so many albums have changed my life, so hard to pick one single album. I have a series on my channel called Songs That Shaped My Life, so I focus more on a single song than an album.
That's kind of cool. I'm going to start doing, not on this channel, because this is mostly an interviews channel. We're starting to use our interviews on our other channel for our Today in History, which, by the way, we don't call Today in History.
Ooh.
We don't call it that. Shh, be very, very quiet. I'll say, like, Bruce Hornsby's birthday was a couple of days ago, and I mentioned his date. I says, born on this date, and at the end I kind of admitted it was a date, because you want it to be evergreen product. You want someone to say, oh, well, who is this, right? Like, this is kind of cool. Who did that?
Brett Blankenship, my 52-year-old, and I'm 52 years old, and I discovered the band Family about 6 years ago, and their album Bandstand just blows my mind.
Yeah, I had someone who came on here the other day and first discovered Free, and then discovered that Free evolved into Bad Company, because they went, oh yeah, that's Mr. Paul Rogers, that's right.
Pelos Rob, TMRC, Neil Diamond soundtrack for Jonathan Livingston Seagull made me realize he was capable of much, much more than just girl and boy love pop songs. And
by you probably, if you know Jonathan Livingston Seagull, you must know Serenade, which, by the way, David Paich is on. And the reason he left Neil Diamond's band, and I'm talking to David Page in early December again, is because he was going out to produce his own stuff and working on getting a band together, which ended up being Toto.
Eric says Duran Duran, 7 and the Ragged Tiger. Ragged Tiger, sorry.
Yeah.
My glasses. Gin Jazz, Frank Zappa, Hot Rats.
I say this a lot on this channel, but my buddy introduced me to Joe's Garage in, I think it would have been the late 70s, early 80s. And I remember going, this is so cool. But I never really liked an awful lot of his stuff. I think he was too, I'd have to give, and it's been years since I really listened seriously to Frank Zappa.
Fraser said, who let the dogs out? Uh-huh. Tim P. Hi, John. Just wanted to thank you for the Alan Parsons interviews and the box set link. I received it on Monday.
Hey!
So far, sounds incredible. The signed photo is a very, very nice add-on.
I was kind of hoping they'd send me one, but I never really asked. Sometimes I'll ask. But I'm with open conversation with the record label. They always want to know what's coming up next. I have, I think, 3 more segments coming up. I can tell you right now. I'll tell you right now, actually. Do I have any more coming up? Let's find out, shall we? We have, there's 2 heart, 3 heart, 4 heart.
Ooh.
We have, Alan Parsons talking about Paul McCartney. That's 1. Oh, maybe there's only 1 left. Yeah, there's only 1 left. Alan Parsons talks about Paul McCartney.
Hike with Mike, my favorite album of all time is the Eagles' Hotel California.
And you know, December 8th is the anniversary. It's its birthday coming up on December 8th. John Lennon Day, December 8th. It's crazy when you think about it. But a lot of people think it was released in 77. It became popular in 77. So those chose 2 albums, Rumors, Fleetwood Mac, and the Eagles' Hotel California, which was released in 1976, December 8th.
So please, if you get a chance, hit that like button. Appreciate it. Don't forget. Hike with my,
We matched tonight.
Gene Phillips, the first time I listened to Steppenwolf live in 1972, I knew I would like rock.
Love the cover of that, eh? Remember the big wolf?
Alex Popalex. Several albums changed my life. Albums from Pink Floyd, Steely Dan, Alan Parsons Project, Van Morrison, Supertramp. But there's one album that still stands alone for me, and it's not a rock music album.
What is it? Does he say what it is?
Doesn't say.
Oh, please tell us. I'm kind of curious.
Douglas Struthers, Elton John, Captain Fantastic, and the
Brown Dirt
Dirt Cowboy.
Yeah.
Melody R says Boston.
Oh, Boston. Did I mentioned this the other day, but John Beaudin produced, well, they say Tom Schultz did it really, but but John was there as overseer or something. So he also produced the Little River Band. And I just talked to Graham Goebel for the 3rd time. First interview was 3 hours. The second interview, I think, was about 2.5 hours. And this interview was 2 hours. So I get along really well with Graham. We talk about a lot of stuff. So I asked him this time, I said, did you guys ever ask, can I have a tissue if you don't mind? Did you guys ever talk about Boston? And he says, well, Boston, this is what Graham Goebel says. He says, well, Boston wasn't really in our frame of reference. And we didn't release songs like More Than a Feeling, so I don't think we ever really asked, because they worked with him before Boston won and after Boston won. So there you go. I'm cold. That's why
Ricky F15, Jeff Picaro's drumming, and then I found out he was a drummer on hundreds of records hits that I love.
Yeah, that's so cool when you discover someone. Like I discovered Elton John not midstream in the 70s, but then I realized, I can go back and buy a Tumbleweed. I can go back on 11/17/70 and the debut and Empty Sky and even Friends, you know.
Karen Riley, hi John and Shan, hope all is well. We're doing good, thanks.
Yeah.
Gin Jazz, I got so many Rush 2112, 2112.
2112, yeah. Oh, you said 2112.
Rick May, The Who live at Leeds, my favorite live album.
It's always in the top list for people. It's never outside the top 20. It's rare on lists. And there's a reason for that. Like Frampton's there. I didn't realize that Garth Brooks' live album outsold Frampton, but it did.
Ronnie Parker, hey Ronnie, Kiss Alive.
Mm-hmm.
Alex says it's an album without category. Stella from Yellow.
Oh, Yellow? Stella?
Yeah, from Yellow. Yeah, Yellow.
I don't know.
Darren, John and Shan, tell everyone what album changed your life.
Yes, Shannon. You weren't really a big albums person.
I wasn't.
You're a music person. Shannon used to go to clubs and dance and get in trouble. No, she didn't get in trouble.
But as
Actually,
far as
you're a
what,
good girl.
but as far as what like big albums, well, I was always
Oh, Purple Rain. You love Purple Rain.
that was huge.
Yeah.
But more, yeah, I can't really say I had one album that stuck out for me more than anything else.
Captain Fantastic, Brown Deer Cowboy, Goodbye Little Brick
I
Road,
think we knew that.
Madman Across the Water, Toto 1, Toto 4, Toto 7th one, Toto 14, Billy Joel, The Stranger, 52nd Street. I didn't like Innocent Man for whatever reason. Who else? Kayak, Royal Bed Bouncer, Mike Rutherford, Small Creeps Day. You guys all know that. Genesis, I do like Abacab. A lot of people hate it. Genesis Duke, Lamb Lies Down on Broadway, Selling England by the Pound. What else? A lot of stuff.
Geez, you got a lot going on.
I got a crazy list.
John at Village Advisory. Hi, Shan and John. Deep Purple live in Japan.
Yeah. Everyone had Live in Japan and Machine Head, I remember. I mean, everybody had those albums.
John Pothin. Hey, John. Hi, John and Shannon. For me,
Hi.
it was Tears for Fears songs from The Big Chair.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a good.
They were one of the biggest bands in the world at that point. They were just huge. And Roland and Kurt, Roland Orzabal, Kurt Smith, they're still doing it. You know, Roland was doing it solo. Elemental was a great album, though, remember? Break it down again.
Hype with Mike. Don't know if a song changed my life, but a movie did. Good Will Hunting changed my life for the good. Radically changed my life for the good.
That was an amazing movie. You know, you talk about perfect, just as an aside, there's certain movies that are just perfect movies. And Shawshank Redemption, The Green Mile.
Oh, one of my
just
favorites, The
movies
Green Mile.
that just touch you. I still love It's a Wonderful Life. I watch it all the time. I wrote Jimmy Stewart
Every
while he was
Christmas,
alive. Yes.
watch it.
It's a Wonderful Life.
But listen to this. He has never sat through The Sound of Music. Classic. Never sat through it. I'm like, what? You've never seen it?
Sorry.
We might actually go see it
Live
maybe at the theater.
in Moncton. Yeah.
We're thinking of that. Gin Jazz, My Bad, The Soft Machine Bundles.
The what?
The Soft Machine Bundles. Claudia C. John and Shan, I hope you all enjoyed a wonderful week. Yes, we did. Thank you. Mark Zappasodi. Even though I'm a Beatles freak, my favorite song of all time is Friday on My Mind by the Easy Beats.
I love that song. It's a great song. There's so many songs from that kind of that 60s sort of counterculture, sort of folky, going into the Eagles, the acoustic stuff that, yeah, it's a great song.
Rick May, Steely Dan.
Asia.
As good as it gets.
Why did it get fuzzy there? That was weird.
Alan Perkins, Small Creep State, Mike Rutherford.
You know me, I'm
yeah.
right with you. It's one of my favorite top 3 albums of all time.
Darren says, John, the Guess Who and Frank Zappa both have a song called Dancin' Fool.
Oh, is that right? Oh, I think I knew that. I was just, because I don't think I'm going to get Burton Cummings for my Canadian special. I'm going through the years of Canadian music, which I'll do with American music as well after I do it. It's kind of cool to capsulate just a country and see what was happening with the country's artists. And I'll eventually do it with England as well. And I might go, I don't know how far around the world I can go because I've got to remember who my audience is. But the Canadian one will be on the Rock History Canada. And I don't know if anybody remembers the Lisa Hart Band, Old Time Movie. Anyway, I'm interviewing her for the Canadian channel. She opened up, I think, for April Wine or somebody. I think it was April Wine.
I'm going to jump ahead a bit here because we've got lots of comments. Elaine Cox Henley's End of the Innocents.
Oh.
Well, that was.
His best album.
That was.
I was moving in '89. I was moving to Vancouver from Edmonton. And I heard it on my Jeep, which had balding tires on it. I was driving from Port Coquitlam to Vancouver for not maybe the first time, but I wanted to see Vancouver, and that came on the radio.
A Snowman, Kiss Alive 2, Journey Escape. Faithfully is my favorite slow song.
Yeah, it's a great song. It's too bad about all the drama happening in the band, but see, this week, basically, Neil Sean says Jonathan Cain has frozen him out of the American Express account. Sorry, I need to get cracked by the chiropractor. And then Jonathan Cain came back and said, "No, you're not frozen out of it. You've been canceled out of it because you're overspending." So who knows what's going on there?
Yikes. Eric, the most perfect songs ever written are Supper's Ready by Genesis, Driven Out by Fix, and Alive and Kicking by Simple Minds.
Alive and Kicking. When I asked Steve Hackett about Supper's Ready, I said, "Why do you think that's always on the number one spot?" Because our countdown of the top 25 had Supper's Ready as number one. And he says, because it's a perfect song and all the elements of the great elements of Genesis, all that could happen that is good with Genesis happened on that song.
Fraser J. Can't go without mentioning the seventh one.
Oh, yeah. I love the seventh one. I think it's still the album that I play. No, the Sword albums, 1, 4, and 7. Those are the albums that I still play lately just as much as the other.
Transparent Media Truth, War Out, Late for the Sky. Kevin Yu, Queen, News of the World Changed My Life.
News of the World it's crazy because it had, those two back-to-back hits, right? Well, We Will Rock You, We Are the Champions, and the big robot in the front, killing the guys with its hands. Great album. I love the green on it. I don't know why it affected me in that way. It was a gatefold. You could open it up. Great album altogether.
Mike Tobias, so many records have, but if I have to choose today, I would have to say Demons and Wizards by Uriah Heep.
Uriah Heep is a band I'm going to be doing a thing on for the other channel. It's for an anniversary of a certain album. I'm not going to say what it is, but anyway. I like digging into bands because Uriah Heep, I only had like the best of or greatest. I don't know if it was greatest hits. They weren't famous for hits, but they, I think someone given me the best of volume 2 or something when I was in high school. And I remember going, where have these guys been? But they were kind of like a Deep Purple-ish-esque band for me back then. I don't know if I categorize them as that now, but that was my impression back then. So anyway, I'm doing a thing.
Hike with Mike, suggestion for a future episode, greatest album covers.
Oh my God.
It's a great.
I'm going to text you this, Shen. That is amazing.
Douglas Struther's Moby's Play album opened me up to electronic and ambient music.
And Moby has a lot of, it's amazing how he's released so much music that comes up on the Spot channel for Sirius XM. Hold on, I got to text you this. Album covers. Wow.
JD says, greetings to you both. Our clock is 1 hour forward since it's summer in Australia.
Oh, yeah.
Isn't that crazy?
That didn't come up when I was talking to Graham Goble. He lives in Melbourne, by the way.
And Mick V says, UFO, Lights Out, and Steve Winwood back in the high life, for sure.
That's a great album. Album covers.
Yeah, B40, Billy Squire's 1981 album, Don't Say No.
He got a bad rap.
Sean Rush, a Golden Earring Cut album. Bonita B, The Motels.
Oh, The Motels.
Heart. JD says, hello to my Rita Coolidge. I guess that's that. Hey.
I don't know if it's the lighting, but Shannon doesn't really look like Rita Coolidge. But it's the long hair. I can understand that. It's like when people used to say I look like Robert Downey Jr. for the very reason because I have the same.
You actually got that this week in Starbucks. It was very sweet.
Oh yeah, the woman yells it across Starbucks. Hey, I know who you look like, and she's a server though. She did work there. It would be weird. It would have been someone.
Hike with Mike says, I bet Shan loved Jagged Little Pill album. You are correct.
Yeah, and she used to get Alanis Morissette all the time when she was younger.
Mike, you got it. That's probably one of my favorites. I was actually just listening to the album last week, so hey, you got me pegged.
You ought to know, buddy.
Yes. Mike says, we always called him Uncle Ted, but probably not.
Uncle Ted?
I don't. Maybe I just got in. I read something that they were talking about.
Oh, it was something.
previously.
Yeah, you must be referring to something.
Yeah. Joe says, "Hey folks on vacation."
Oh, Ted Nugent, Uncle Ted. That people call him Uncle Ted. Maybe.
Joe says, "Hey folks on vacation in Punta Cana. Toto's first album broke all kinds of new ground."
It really did. And the fact that there was 4 singers on there. I mean, 4 singers. You had Bobby Kimball, you had Steve Lukather, you had David Page, and you had Steve Porcaro. I mean, what the heck?
Free Flyby rumors.
Oh, rumors.
Russ says Tom Waits' Heart Attack and Vine.
That's it. I always found, and I know it's the thing to say about Tom Waits, but to me, he was an acquired taste.
Claudia said discovering Steve Perry late in life and his album Street Talk had a big impact on
What's
me.
the name of that Steve Perry song that I like so much? The solo song. I keep playing it.
Laura says Rush Moving Pictures.
Our Laura? Mm-hmm. Hey, cool.
John Swanner Music. Hey John, revisited the interview with Andy Scott. Sweet. Were amazing.
Yeah, I again, I got to get Andy again. I'm so busy and so behind now that Chase works at Costco. I mean, I'm glad he works at Costco. I want him to, but for me to cut up my own interview, because I hate listening to myself, is so difficult. But interestingly, today I was saying, because we had lost a Jerry Lynn interview, the one that just went up about the Righteous Brothers, and I went, I could spend 5 hours trying to find the interview. I don't know where it is. I think it was accidentally erased, which is ridiculous because she's so wonderful. And I'm going, why don't you just spend 3 hours and just recut it? Why don't you just do that?
Warner Designs. A summer after my 8th grade year, a friend let me borrow 3 albums. When I put on Toto debut and heard Child's Anthem, I was thinking, what? Then song after song, different styles, different singers. Hooked.
Yeah. Look at my smile. I mean, I love hearing you all describing, and thank you for that, the way you feel. It's that walking into a record store. I know I've said this way too much on my channel. But, walking into a record store and being excited, which is, I walk into a record store now and I'm going, oh, yeah, Taylor Swift released an album. That's awesome.
Mark Zappisodi, 1966 might be the greatest year ever for pop music.
1960, I always say 66 up to, no, I don't even say that. I mean, I'm doing a special again on the other channel from the 67, not just a Summer of Love, but, it's that first of all, I'm going to talk about a Surrealistic Pillow by Jefferson Airplane, Sgt. Pepper's, and the Doors' debut, and then how that influenced other albums as well. They were all huge albums that year.
Bonita B says Little Queen by Heart.
Little Queen's such a great album.
Kathy Godfrey, The Beatles, of course.
Just let me interject for a second. I asked Steve Fossen, Michael DeRozier, the Fisher brothers about those costumes at Little Queen. So I'm not sure which one told me, but they went into this costume place, and the laundromat, they press the button and it comes around. Boom.
Yeah.
The place they went to had costumes on a tram. What would you call that? What would you, a conveyor belt or something? But they had different ones, and they got to pick the costumes they wanted, and some of them took an awful long time. So, yeah, it's kind of cool.
Bonita B says This Fire by Paula Cole. Il BRN2B22 Kansas Left Overture.
Kansas Left Overture, yes.
Hike with Mike, suggestion for a future episode. Okay. What would be your wedding song and song for your funeral? Well.
Oh, we're going to get a lot of jokes for that. That's going to be fun. Okay, hold on. I'm just going to. What would be your wedding song and song for your funeral?
Yeah. Whoa.
Wedding
what song did we have for our wedding? Do you remember? Did we even have a song?
We had something play. I think.
I know the song I'd like for my funeral.
I think we were playing Hot Legs.
Oh, right. What would be the song for your funeral? That's pretty morbid sounding.
I miss those hot legs.
Gosh. Yeah, what would be my funeral song?
You would be Since You Went Away. What's the name of that one? No. What's that? What, Pet Shop Boys?
No.
What?
No,
your funeral song? I had. I know it's
Mark Isham.
Oh, My Wife with Champagne Shoulders.
Great song. Oh,
okay.
Great song.
For anyone, whether you like that kind of music or not, please like our video. We're only at 39. Do us a favor. If you have a pen nearby, if you have Apple Music or Spotify, humor us, please. Mark Isham, he's a Scientologist, but we still love him. He used to be on the Windham Hill label. And
It's so good. It's my when you played
You
it for
love
me
it.
like 25 years ago, you played
Yeah.
it for me, and I was like,
I had her just like that. Not really.
What?
My wife with champagne shoulders.
oh, it's so good.
Mark Isham.
Yeah.
If you can't find it, you'll find it.
You've got to sit down.
You'll
for
find
like
it on YouTube.
Sit down for like 5 minutes, close our eyes, and just listen. It is phenomenal.
Please,
One of my favorites.
Don't leave now, but write it down. My wife with champagne shoulders.
Yeah.
It's from an album called Castalia, and there's I
It's
played
about 25 years. It's got to be at
I
least.
played it before I left the Edmonton station. I have the Edmonton copy because the copy I have says CHQM on it or CKXM. Yeah.
So, The Greenbird, Rod Stewart, Every Picture Tells a Story.
Every picture tells it.
Melody R. Tommy Bolin, The Ultimate Teaser.
Tommy Bolin's one of those artists, I think. And again, another artist I'm working on. The unsung heroes, Tommy joined the James Gang and just, bad circumstances for him.
A music stream, Iron Butterfly.
Oh, yeah, I'm not going to. Inagata Davida. Inagata Davida.
Louise says, Bob Dylan in a concert on Hollywood, Rock 1990.
There's a certain thing about listening to Bob Dylan's early work where if you just give yourself some time, just for the very fact, and I have to do this because, I always use Yes as the example of going back and listening to Yes albums that I haven't listened to enough. I think I've listened to all of them, but that's kind of a band. I do it off and on with Bob Dylan. Just for reference, I'm not a big Dylan fan, even before he went electric and everyone went crazy. He's pretty brilliant.
Thomas Steve, supper's ready. Help me transferring from school day to another world.
Yeah. Well, the escapism part of music is, you can't. Oh, look, someone gave us a thumbs down.
Oh.
They probably didn't like you.
Oh.
Oh no!
Or maybe they didn't like the song I liked. Maybe.
No, they love Shannon. Yeah, right.
thumbs down.
If anybody doesn't like anybody, it'd be me. Again, let me say the most important thing I've discovered about being on YouTube, and it's good that I'm talking to people my age, because if I wasn't, they'd go, "Oh, guy, blah blah blah," and I don't care about that. Doesn't matter. The thing is, sometimes people will come on and they just don't like your face. I don't see much people not liking your face, but they'll come on, they'll go, I don't know what it is, I just don't like that guy. And you can't help that. Because everyone watches TV and you'll see, I don't know what it is, like Jennifer Aniston. I don't know what it is, I can't watch Jennifer Aniston. I had to change the channel. Oh my God, change. She hasn't done anything to me. She's
It always
very
reminds
talented.
me of that guy that says he can't stand listening to you, but he's been listening to you for how many years?
Yeah, we have this joke in radio of this old guy coming up to you, John Beaudin, I've been listening to you for 25 years and I still hate you. Well, continue hating me. Thank you very much.
It's an avid listener. XXXOXO Bob, the Cars, Candy O, turn me into a new waiver.
I love that. That title song. Candy O, I need you. I love that song.
Stephen J, Transatlantic, Bridge Across Forever. Eric says the greatest Toto song ever is Great Expectations.
Oh, that is a great song. Yeah, Toto 14.
Mark says artwork by Kelly Frias, Home of the New World. Oh, News of the World.
Oh, thank you, Kelly Fries. News of the World. Thank you, Mark.
Warner Designs, John, do you see Toto on their 7th One tour? I saw them at the Gorge in Washington State. Amazing show. Let Luke and Jeff Beccaro before. I met them, both Luke and Jeff, before the show.
They didn't come anywhere near to, and financially I wasn't in that place in the late 80s, 88, 89. I really wasn't in a financial place that I would have traveled to and I didn't do that back then. To travel for a concert was a foreign thought to me. And for me personally, I didn't start traveling by myself till 92 or something. Yeah. of going out and going, oh, I think I'm just going to get a reliable car and go that way.
Barry Bowman, Elton John Saved My Life, Greatest Hits 1970 to 2002.
Yeah. There's so much real estate there, right, with Elton John, which begs you, I would never listen to an Elton John Greatest Hits for me because I've heard his songs so many times, but I'll always listen to the albums, and I won't fast forward the hits. Even Crocodile Rock, Honky Cat, songs that some people don't like. I don't. I listen to them.
Dave Smith, Marvin Gaye's What's Going On, still sadly relevant.
You know what? Our 19-year-old son, the other day, he was playing something. I says, is this Marvin Gaye? He says, yeah, Dad, don't you know this? This is What's Going On. Not the song, but, the album is he loves Marvin Gaye.
Sue Bailey, Heart Like a Wheel by Linda Ronstadt.
Oh, yeah.
Spacey Sam, oh gosh, Eku Hoyt, Styx, The Grand Illusion, a timeless positive
Best
message
album.
for all.
Best album by Styx. I had a great conversation with Dennis DeYoung about it. He's just a interesting cat to talk to.
Gin Jazz says, I love your rock page. Rock on and have a good night.
Thank you.
You too.
Appreciate it.
Rick May, Steely Dan, Two Against Nature, 20 years since Gaucho, but worth the wait.
Two Against Nature, even the title song, that offbeat they do on the title song. I remember I did we were trying to get a radio station for Vancouver for Chum, the company I used to work for. I still work for them, but now they were sold to CTV, then sold to Bell Media. I had to think about that. So I put Two Against Nature as a song that a smooth jazz station would play, even though it's too sort of out there for smooth jazz. And I remember Paul Ski, our general manager, looking at me, going, well, that's an interesting pick. I'm going, we should be a little bit more out there as a smooth jazz station because some smooth jazz is really boring. Let's just pick it up a little bit. So Two Against Nature was, anyone who doesn't know that song, oh my God, listen to it.
Terry B, my first was my introduction to rock and roll by my older brother. I remember sitting in his room with the black light and listening to Led Zeppelin 4. Rush Moving Pictures, went to Rush first album.
Remember and great choices. I remember the excitement of sitting down in someone's place. What do you need?
He's hungry later.
Someone's place and that excitement, and you know what I mean? They're going, I'm going to play this. I'm going to play this new album. No, go away.
He wants to hang out.
And just loving that. I remember Kendall Howard, my friend, playing me Sabotage by Black Sabbath. I remember, he played me Ummagumma by Pink Floyd. Be careful with that X, Eugene. He didn't warn me. The lights were off.
DJH, good evening. Several albums changed my life in the late 80s, but I was a cheap kid, and they were all on 8 tracks.
Oh, there's nothing wrong with that. Oh, he wants to come up. Look,
Yeah.
He's going, no, but I want food.
Blaine says, good evening. The Goat, Def Leppard, Hysteria.
Oh, Hysteria, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Fraser J, how about greatest rock duets for a future live chat?
Hey.
Nice. That's a good one.
That's a great one.
The Greenberg, Moody Blues.
Greatest rock duets.
Moody Blues had 4 singers.
Yeah. John Lodge is the only guy I talked to. I'd love to talk to Justin Hayward because he actually wrote more of the hits. But, yeah, we've lost them, a few of them.
Grant Shoeback, Dire Straits' Tunnel of Love still has one of the best guitar solos.
Tunnel of Love wasn't as, well, no, it's great.
Stephen J.
Making Movies is my favorite.
If you still want to be excited about new music, look at Laser CD. Nothing but good stuff on there. Music isn't dead. People are just cheap and lazy.
That's my only complaint about the Professor of Rock, and I think he does good work, but he's trying to get the mileage out of saying whether he means it or not. He might mean it. He might mean that new music sucks, but it's really narrow-minded, and he's so good at what he does. But just to, it's like the anthem, yeah, new music sucks. And I'm going, that's so disrespectful to so many great music. I mean, to do the placard thing, to say that, it's just not necessary, and it's not true. Obviously, some new music might not appeal. Obviously, I would never listen to Taylor Swift. I play her every night on my radio station, but I'm allowed as a DJ, and I don't pick the music. So I had to clarify that because someone says, "Why do you play her?" I don't pick the music. The station's in Vancouver and I'm in New Brunswick, but I've worked there since 2000. No, since 19. Oh God, I'm getting tired. 1990, and she puts out good music, just not for me, you know.
Free Flyby, Saturday Night Fever movie changed my teen years.
Oh, that was such a great.
Oh,
That was one of the best soundtracks. I mean, I was never ashamed to have it, even though some people would put it in between a Zeppelin album, right? And a Deep Purple album, maybe. And as they were exchanging albums to, not to trade, but to, I'll lend you this one, you lend me that one. I never did that. Hi.
oh my goodness. Jeff McNutt, The Wall.
Yeah.
Mark Zappisodi, it was the A Hard Day's night album that turned me on to the Beatles. Discovered that 1964 album in 1972. Life has never been the same.
Mm-hmm.
Snowman, yes, Fragile. Love the 8 Wives of Henry VIII.
I got to revisit that with Rick Wakeman, yeah.
Stephen Walton, I would have a hard time picking one from my youth. There are so many to choose from in recent decades. Blackie and the Rodeo Kings, High or Hurtin' really steered me in a new direction.
Oh, good choice.
Yeah.
Didn't expect it.
Eric says The Next Life by Suede. DJH, my funeral song would be Di Tirota by National Lampoon.
National Lampoon. You remember National Lampoon had the swimming thing? Remember they were lampooning judges and for gymnastics, the flip flop and the mounted flip flop. Everyone knows what the last word was in that. If you've seen the clip, it was really funny. Chancez forward. Anyway, if you know it, you know what I'm talking about.
DJH just said, just checked.
I'm so itchy. I don't know what's going on.
Just checked. I have the Castalia album on vinyl.
Oh, so do we. We have it on vinyl. Yeah.
Snowman, my funeral song would be Funeral for a Friend, Elton John.
It's a great funeral song. You know what? The Dead Can Dance stuff is great because they used Lisa Gerrard in Gladiator. Remember the Gladiator music? Remember? Go to her.
Yeah.
Remember? Oh, Jesus.
Hike with Mike, my funeral song would be the Beatles, Here Comes the Sun. Already notified Mrs. Hike with Mike that song needs to be played, LOL.
No, I go back to Dead Can Dance. That stuff. Who was I listening to the other day? Oh, that English band. I wasn't that familiar with them. I have all my playlists on here, and the new music. Like I've got. Where is it? I don't want it to play because I'll get copyright strike.
Melody R says, my funeral song, We're Here for a Good Time by Trooper.
Oh yeah,
It's a good one.
Ray McGuire and Smitty. They've retired now. There's no original people left at all in the touring band for Trooper. But I'm from the school of if people want to pay, they have the blessing of Trooper. Ray and Smitty still probably own the name. If they can make a retirement out of it, that's cool. I wouldn't go see them, but if people enjoy the show.
Spacey says, in regards to Yes, some of their best tracks are on their later albums. Too bad that they were overlooked by the classic albums.
There was also a lot of, I'm going to say drama, because they had an album called Drama. But there was, when I was talking to John Anderson, when he talks about the other guys, and he says, oh, what, me getting back with Yes? Oh, I wouldn't want to join that band because they're not very good. I'm going, oh my God. I use it in my trailer. I know people have seen it 1,000 times, but it's really like, wow, that wasn't all sharp. But he's such a great interview. He's such a character.
Bonita says, hey guys, it's really awesome how you interact with us viewers. Well, that's what it's all about. And this is so much fun to get everybody's input. Metal Reaper, Live Magnetic Air by Max Webster.
Oh my God. I remember buying it for $3.99. It was on sale. And I mean, I didn't like the cover because it was kind of like sort of hokey-ish looking. But they were probably laughing all the way to the bank. And but A Million Vacations I really liked before that. I love that album so much. I know it was poppy and less rocky. Well, it had its rocky moments. Rockland Wonderland's a single. Rockland is my favorite Kim Mitchell album by far.
Karen Raleigh says the Journey Frontiers album is one of my favorites. I love listening to Steve Perry singing "Send Her My Love."
Steve Perry's just like the man. I'm talking to Trev Lukather. I'm going to ask him how Steve's doing because this week and on Tuesday, I think, everyone laughs about how I say Tuesday, but I just say Tuesday the Tuesday way. I'm going to ask him how Steve Perry's doing because he's kind of like a second father to him.
Music Stream said Dennis DeLong is a good interview. He's funny.
Dennis DeYoung, you mean?
Oh, sorry. It says
DeLong.
Sorry. Is it DeYoung?
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah, but it says DeLong. So
Yeah.
He's funny. He's fun, and it was such a nice thing. I hate to say this all the time, but he asked for me, which was nice because I've on one broadcast going, Dennis, if you're listening, I want to interview you, and then out of nowhere, the record company says, by the way, Dennis DeYoung would like you to interview him. I'm going, what? I felt like Scooby Doo. I went, wow, that's great. And
he looked up.
And then in the beginning, oh yeah, the dog looked up. And in the beginning of the interview, he kept going, John Beaudin, you're the man. I'm going, oh, gee, thanks, Dennis DeYoung, because you're one of my musical heroes.
Fraser J says Marvin Gaye, I Want You album written by Leon Ware that I had the privilege of meeting and performing
Oh,
with.
wow.
Cool. Alan Perkins, Peter Gabriel, Shock the Monkey.
Shock the Monkey.
Hi,
that was
Glenn.
so different.
Glenn says The Clash, London Calling.
I knew that would come up.
Mustang Red, 1967. To answer your question, 5150 Van Halen.
Oh yeah. I had one of my best friends was a big Van Halen fan. He refused to say 5150. He always said 5150. And I got into the habit of saying that. And it's strange. It's an ism that I had and my friends would always say, that's not how you say it. I'm going, I know. I don't know why.
Oh, wait a second. I said it right. What?
You did.
Ooh. Richard Klein, good evening all. For me, Tom Waits, the Mule Variations, it was like walking in a room and turning on a light. I just suddenly got it.
Oh my God. Tom Waits has come up quite a few times tonight. Yeah. Not that I'm overly surprised because he is a superstar in music, but.
Mustang Red said again, Eddie Van Halen. Phil Stephenson, hey guys, hope you're doing well. For me, it's Jimmy Page and Roy Harper, 1948-ish.
Roy Harper, The Unknown Soldier, for me is one of my favorite albums. The title song itself is great. David Gilmour's on there. What do you laugh at?
So I have. Darren says, John and Shan, I wonder what album changed your dog's life. Is it Who Let the Dogs Out?
Oh, watch what he does. And those are the party tricks you get on this
That's
channel.
all you get.
I'm spitting, God.
Rick May, Pink Floyd, Wish You Were Here, tribute to their fallen leader, Sid Barrett.
Yes. Shine on, you crazy diamond.
I'm jumping ahead to
Yeah,
try to
'cause
get a few in here. Warren Designs, a newer band that I really enjoy, the 1975. Not sure what it is,
Yeah.
but I just dig their music.
Yeah, I do too.
Aaron Campbell, hey Aaron, Jimi Hendrix Experience, Axis Bold as love blending different genres in perfect ratios. It created a new soundscape that was refreshing and a bit mellow compared to their previous work.
You're a way better reader than me. Way better. You ever notice, guys, when I'm reading stuff, I'm always just a chunkiness to it. And because I'm so used to ad-libbing and I don't read commercials very well when I have to voice commercials. It's just a thing that I've always had. Because I'm lazy, I've learned to ad-lib really, really well. At least I think I do. I could be really wrong. But Shan, you're a good reader.
Music Stream.
Like our video.
That's for somebody else.
Like our video,
Talking
please.
amongst yous. Phil says, my funeral song would be Old and Wise by the Alan Parsons Project.
Oh, it's such a beautiful song. Yeah. That's Colin, isn't it? Yeah, I think Colin's singing on that.
Claudia C. said, John, don't forget to tell us your favorite Steve Perry song that you started to tell us.
Oh, it's right
Thanks,
here.
Claudia. Thanks for going in full circle here. Appreciate
Young Hearts
that.
Forever.
Ooh.
Young Hearts Forever. I freaking love that song. Dun, dun, dun. I love that song. Just listen to it.
Jeff Hansen, funeral song Across the View, Richard Bermer. Long live New Age music.
Oh my God. Across the View is one of the most, it's like that. It's like My Wife with Champagne Shoulders. Richard Bermer always had a certain keyboard sound. Because I've spent...
I'll have to listen to that, Jeff.
By the way, the Across the View on Spotify is all scratched up. Everyone notice that? If you listen to Across the View on Spotify, the volume, the one they have, it's scratchy. And he used to be on that album Western Spaces. Across the View used to be on Western Spaces with Kevin Brahani and Steve Roach.
Simply Celtic Van Life. Sorry on wrong account. This is Glenn Ryan. Hey, Glenn. Hi. How's it going?
Hey.
XXO Bob. Was the Steve Perry song Foolish Heart or Oh Sherry?
Young Hearts Forever. Hold on. I can't play it because of copyright. Oh, God. Play it. It's from...
Snowman says, good night, John and Shannon. Thank you, Snowman.
Yeah, we got to go anyway.
For hanging out with us.
It's not even in his top 10. Oh.
DJH, Tom Waits, writes music of angels, sings them with the voice of Beelzebub.
Beelzebub?
Yep. New Avatar, Honeymoon Suite, The Big Prize. Transparent Media, Truth, Tull, Songs from the Wood. Jeannie Miller, Joe Bonamassa.
Yeah. Everyone asked me, how come you're not bigger than Joe Bonamassa? I don't know. We used to watch it in London Drugs, and they'd always have that live DVD playing. And I enjoy watching it, but I don't know. It's just not my lane. But I'd love to talk to him. He seems like an interesting guy.
Glenn says, Frampton comes alive. Warner Designs, thank you too for doing what you do and for reestablishing just how nice Canadians are. Enjoy your weekend, dinner time. Hey.
Well, on that thought...
Thank you.
Because she's going to come over any second, because right at 10 o'clock,
she
gets her time.
It's her Scrabble.
Thanks for the super chats, everyone. And if you want to donate to the channels at 2P, you can join our Patreon, or there's in the very... I sounded French there for a second there, eh? Because I used to be French, but I sounded French. So I can do it. In the description or at the very top, there's links to our Patreon, or if you want to make a donation, link to our PayPal. And thank you.
Thank you so much for liking our channel.
Yeah,
we appreciate you. Look forward to next Friday.
Yep. And
with Rudy.
Rudy Patootie.
He's going to join in too.
See you guys.
Bye. Thanks.
Take care.